The Slayer, The Ballad of Orlando Valdez, Part 2, Episode 3, The Village of Shadows. He then pulled out his balaraw, a traditional Filipino dagger, and launched himself towards another of the creatures. The balaraw flashed silver in the moonlight as Orlando parried the aswang's claws and thrust the blade into its chest. The aswang let out a roar of pain and fell to the ground with a sickening thud. The third aswang, seeing its companions wounded, snarled in fury and lunged at Sarah. But before it could reach her, Orlando swung his whip with deadly accuracy, striking the creature in the face. It stumbled back, momentarily stunned. "John, take Sarah and run!" Orlando shouted, his voice hoarse with exertion. He quickly handed John a hunting knife and a bottle of holy water. "Use these to protect yourselves. And Sarah, here, take this holy water. Use it as needed." John, trembling with adrenaline, scooped Sarah up and ran with all his might. They dashed through the undergrowth, the sounds of Orlando's battle and the aswang's enraged cries fading behind them. Finally, they reached their doorstep, gasping for breath. John fumbled with his keys, his hands shaking. Just as they were about to enter the safety of their home, a chilling voice pierced the night. "This isn't over, mortal," it hissed. "We will take what we want, and no one will stop us." Their voice was a low growl, barely audible in the darkness, but carrying the weight of 1,000 threats. The door slammed shut, shaking the very foundation of the house. A chilling certainty filled the room, a sense that no prayer, no plea. John and Sarah collapsed on the floor, hearts pounding, the terrifying encounter still etched on their minds. Exhausted and shaken, they looked at each other, a new fear settling in their hearts. This wasn't just a new life, it was a battle for survival, and they were caught in the middle. John's gaze was glued to the ceiling, his hand hovering over the balaraw. A strange sound began to filter through the darkness, a faint tick-tick that seemed to echo through the room. At first, it sounded like a bird tapping against the roof, but as John listened, he realized it was another creature. It was a manananggal, or a tick-tick. He strained his ears, his heart pounding in his chest. The sound became louder, more rhythmic. He noticed the manananggal about to attack his wife, unaware of the creature's presence. Its tongue stretched down from the roof like a fine hair, dangling from his ceiling, a glistening, pulsating serpent ready to strike. A cold dread gripped him, a primal fear that made his blood run cold. He couldn't scream, couldn't move, trapped in the icy grip of terror. A shiver snaked down his spine. He heard it again, a scratching, dragging sound, moving slowly across the rooftop. His hand instinctively reached for his balaraw, the familiar weight a comfort in the rising dread. Someone was up there, and whatever their intentions, they wouldn't find him unprepared. He wouldn't let them harm his wife. To be continued, Ghost Hunters Saga 3, The Slayer fiction novel, written by Dennis G. Pamesa.